Today's gospel passage is from Luke's Sermon on the Mount, sometimes titled the Sermon on the Plain. This sermon can also, comments Petrie, be titled as the Sermon on the Mount, since it appears to have taken place on a level place on the side of the mountain, which, during the night, Jesus had gone up to pray on. To accommodate the crowd of people after the sun had risen, Jesus travels down from the mountain top, or near the top, of the mountain to the side of the mountain where there is a level place to speak to the crowd from. In his sermon, Jesus teaches us to love our enemies. Jesus then specifies how we are to love our enemies by providing 3 ways we are to love our enemies. First, we are to do good to those who hate us. Second, we are to bless those who curse us. Third, we are to pray for those who abuse us. None of these 3 ways by which we are to love our enemies include loving our enemies emotionally with our feelings. It is possible to fulfill Jesus' 3 ways of loving an enemy while at the same time feeling repelled and dislike toward the enemy. Perhaps our feeling of dislike towards an enemy may lessen, but this is not what is essential to Jesus' teaching in loving our enemies. It is possible to do good to an enemy, to bless an enemy who curses us, and to pray for those who abuse us while still feeling dislike for the enemy, especially dislike for the harmful actions the enemy does to himself and others. Why does Jesus teach us to love our enemies? Because he did so, especially by dying on the cross and then rising gloriously from the dead. Although Jesus in his divine nature is all-powerful, Jesus came into this world as a helpless-looking little baby. When King Herod sought to kill Jesus, Jesus did not strike King Herod dead. Jesus did not respond to King Herod's violent ways with violent actions. Although Jesus could have easily assumed all the wealth in the world, Jesus chose not to, and instead chose to remain poor, even hungry, and without at times a roof over his head. With respect to pleasure, Jesus enjoyed creation, a good meal with friends such as Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, and appreciated beauty, such as the beauty of the birds of the air and lilies of the field, but never became possessive of any beautiful creature. Finally, while Jesus did not reject honor, for example, Jesus accepted the honor of having his feet washed by a woman with expensive perfume from an alabaster jar. Jesus did not seek honors and was crowned not with the crown of gold embedded with precious gems, but rather was crowned with the crown of thorns. Why did Jesus act in this manner? Because he was, by his actions, showing that he practices what he preaches. Jesus loved us by doing good to all, including his enemies. He blessed all, even those who condemned him to death, and he prayed that all are saved with the words, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Aided by grace, may we be more like Jesus by doing good to those who hate us, praying for those who wish us ill, and blessing those who curse us. May God bless you all.